I am just live now. I'm just live like 6 7 minutes before, just to just to avoid any last minute challenges that I might face technically. So, good day, everybody. Happy Independence Day to everybody who is seeing me right now or who will see me in the video later. So, hello, hello, and if you're in, uh, just drop in a text so I know that you are over. If you are able to hear me, hi Meenakshi, good to see you. And we are just live right now, just doing a little test. If you can hear me, just drop a text. If you can hear me, just drop me a text so that I know that you're able to hear me really well and you're able to understand me as well. Because the technical stuff, the technical challenges that sometimes software can, show up, So good to see anybody who's coming in. Happy Independence Day to each one of you. And it is the 15th of August 2020 in India. It's 3:50. To hear me, if you're able to hear me, if you're able to listen to me. My name is Bobby Dsouza, and I am right now live to have a conversation with you. And if you can give me like a few seconds, I will be on. We still have 2 3 minutes available. So just let's hold on while I just get things sorted out. Okay. So if you can hear me, if you can give me a few seconds, we still have 4 minutes. We'll be live right now, right in 4 minutes. So please bear with me. All right, all right. So we are just ready to begin. Okay, okay, okay. We have 2 minutes more, and we should be live and kicking. We should be live and kicking. So, hello, write down a namaste, write down a namaskar, and we will begin. It's a very interesting topic that a lot of people have been asking. Okay, so it is 4. It is 4 p.m. exactly. Okay, hi Anju, good to see you. Good to see you, Anju Ray. Nice to see you today. Good to see you, and Ruhi. It is good to see you today. Thank you for your message. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. And anybody else who's live right now, Minakshi, good to see you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate your help. And namaste, namaste, namaste. And today is what a beautiful day to say a namaste to each one of us, है ना? Because it is happy Independence Day, everybody, है ना? It is happy Independence Day. It is the 15th of August, the 74th Independence Day for India. And what a moment of, what a moment to experience the element of freedom. Just imagine if you and I were dominated, and you and I weren't allowed to think about anything, without asking permission from someone. 100 years back, 75 years back, this was actually the reality, right? That we were also dominated by somebody else, so we could not even express our own opinion. But today, 2020, okay, the 15th of August, this unfortunately, this fortunately is no longer the case. We have the entire freedom to live the way we want. So, happy Independence Day to everybody who's watching me today. I'm so delighted to welcome all of you, those who are watching right now and those who will watch this in some time, like today, tomorrow, or maybe after 5 years, 2 years, whenever. But I just want to tell all of you, whoever is watching, that my friend, you are very valuable, you are highly important, and that you matter. Did you hear that again? You matter, you are precious, you're important, you're valuable. And today, I want to bring great value to you. The topic that we are discussing today is how do you handle overthinking? Okay, that is that is a topic that we are discussing right now. Now, let me just ask you, how many of you, if you're watching right now, have you seen my latest video on overthinking? If you have, just write down in the chat button below so that I know that you've actually seen it. So there was a video of, there was a video of overthinking that I had put on YouTube just, some time back. And did you manage to see this? Did you manage to, see the video? In fact, this was the video. In fact, this, was the overthinking video, how to stop overthinking. This is the video that I had placed on YouTube, and a lot of people mentioned to me that this video is actually helping them a lot. So if you've seen the video, there are certain things that you must have very well understood, but there are certain things that you must have not understood. So those things that you did not understand, and if you got questions on that, I'll be more than glad to help you. Okay, we will look at we are going to do a quick, Q&A. All right, good to see you. Thank you so much for being there on the live. So, how to stop overthinking was the video that we had put on YouTube, and a lot of people found it helpful. If you haven't seen the video, may I encourage you, watch the video, and then you could also come on the live video because you can ask questions. But let me just begin by talking about, something that's important. So happy Independence Day to everybody and anybody who's watching me live right now. Okay, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive, to know that, that we don't just exist, that we don't just survive, but we can thrive if you just take care of our minds. Isn't that true? Now, before I was just preparing for this YouTube live, one of the thought that I had was, what really is priceless right now during these times wherein there is so much of changes around the world. People are in lockdown, people are in the house. I know that a long time back, or not long time back, a year back, on this 15th of August, I was traveling to Marine Drive and different places of Mumbai, enjoying the street food, having fun, meeting people. But unfortunately, physically, we can't meet so many people. Correct? We cannot meet so many people. But what is definitely possible is we can interact online. And I hope that this video is going to help each one of us. In regards to the question that I had was, my question is, what really do you think is priceless right now? During these times, what is one thing that is really, really priceless and that you cannot buy with money? What do you think is that? what do you think is priceless right now? What do you think is priceless right now? If you can put that in the chat button so I know that you're with me. Okay, what is priceless right now that you cannot buy with money, that you cannot buy with anything? You cannot just buy that. What is that thing? And my friend, the one thing that is priceless beyond money is basically your freedom. Isn't that true? Your own personal freedom to express your opinion, to express your thoughts, to do what you want without worrying about other people. Is that right? Okay. So somebody says respect, love, and happiness is very, very important. Absolutely. But one thing that is really, really very important, for apart from respect, love, and happiness, is something called as peace, and that is peace of mind. Would you agree? Peace of mind is such a critical need that every human being needs. It does not matter who you are, does not matter whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you are struggling, whether you're happy, whether you have money, whatever. The biggest thing, my friend, the biggest thing that people will need right now, you know is basically, freedom. And that is the freedom of peace. Okay, people want to feel a sense of freedom. People want to feel a sense of, that I am free. Okay. Iqbal Raza. Okay, all right. Iqbal Raza, good to see you. And the Wired Pahari, good to see you. Good to see all of you today. So, one of the things that I was talking about is, on this Independence Day, one thing that is really, really needed for all of us is basically the need for the freedom of peace. We all want an element of peace in our mind. You could be sitting next to a seashore. आप समुद्र किनारे, you could be sitting down. You could be sitting next to a seashore. But at the same time, let's say even if you're sitting next to a seashore, but if your mind, if your mind is really, really disappointed, if your mind is really, really, pained about things, so then what's the use of that peace? Isn't that true? Isn't that true, my friend? It does not matter how much of peace you would have in your surrounding. Until you can have peace in your own mind, it's not really going to work out. Is that true? So peace is very, very important. And today we're going to talk about how do you have the freedom of peace in your mind, my friend. How do you have the freedom of peace in the mind? And consistently, as human, we are overthinking, and that is what we are really talking about. We're consistently overthinking. So one thing that human cannot buy is the freedom of peace. That is a peace of mind. And what happens is, in the video that I shared, we talk about, overthinking makes it harder to enjoy life, and it basically impacts, the emotional regulations. If you are consistently as a person, if you are consistently as a person overthinking, if you are consistently overthinking, what happens as a result is, you know, what happens as a result is, it impacts, it basically impacts it impacts you in a large way, doesn't it, my friend? It impacts. Give me a moment. I'm just going to change the font. It basically impacts our emotions. It impacts your sleep. I know so many people who are consistently, getting up in the late night. Some people have insomnia. Some people cannot sleep simply because they are consistently overthinking about what? Overthinking about anything and everything. Okay, so that's one of the challenges people face. And as I said, the biggest important thing is basically so that you don't overthink. And how can you ensure that you do not overthink? There are certain steps I have, but the steps I want to answer in a YouTube video, which is already on YouTube. You can watch it. And I'm going to today answer a few questions. Now, before I answer a few questions, I want to just talk about one thing. You know, Overthinking, my friend, could be a symptom of a number of things. Okay, for example, overthink could be a symptom of anxiety, it could be a symptom of depression, it could be a symptom of your prior bad experiences that you had in life, it could be also an symptom of self-doubt and issues that you must have faced in life. Okay, so Now the question is, how do you handle your challenge of overthinking? Now, what I want you to do is, in the chat button, can you tell me that sometime or the other, happy Independence Day once again to everybody who's coming in right now. Uh, Happy Independence Day to everybody who's coming in right now. So now, what we want to do is, okay, okay, voice is not coming. Okay, give me a moment, my friends. Okay, can you hear me loud and clear right now? Can you hear me clearly? Give me one moment, everybody. Just give me one moment. Let me just try and solve this. Bit of a tech issues, my friend. But in the meanwhile, my friends, what you can do is you can write down any questions that you might have. Any questions? Okay. All right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Are you able to hear me clearly and well right now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. There was a bit of an issue with my sound system. Now it's coming live. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting. Now you are able to hear me well. Thank you so much. So we were talking about overthinking, and overthinking, my friend, is a challenge that a lot of people face. Sometime back, a few minutes back, I had mentioned that there is a video, that I have posted. There is a video, and you can see the picture over here. There is a video that I have posted on YouTube, which is about the power of overthinking. I hope you've seen the video. So right now, without further ado, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and answer your questions. So if you have a question right now, why don't you, throw your question to me? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my screen over here, and we're going to do a little, sorry, we're going to do a little quick Q&A. So go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and ask me a question, and I will be so glad to answer your question. Any question which is related to overthinking, what would you like to ask me? Go ahead. How you can ask me any questions related to overthinking, and I'm here to help you, rather than, because this video is already available on YouTube, so I'm not going to look at the definition. I'm not going to be talking about 10,000 other things. I'm not going to be talking about why is this topic important. But I'm going to focus mainly on how can I help you, my friend, to stop overthinking. So let us take the question number one. So for anybody else who's coming in, write down your question. If you're watching now, put a question. If you're watching it later, we can answer that as well. But one question that somebody is asking is Yogesh Singhania is asking a question: why do we overthink? Okay, why do we overthink? Actually, Yogesh, let me highlight your question, and we will answer this question. So that's the question number one that Yogesh has asked me, and we will try and answer that question. Okay, why do we overthink? Yogesh, I think it's already mentioned in the video. Why do we overthink? One of the reasons why we overthink is because we are trying to take control of our past, of our present, and our future. हमारी life में, if you've had you're trying to somehow control something of the past which didn't go according to the way you wanted, or you're trying to control something of the present, or you're trying to control something that will happen in the future. Now, the truth is, my friend, how much ever you try and go back to the past, you actually cannot go back to the past. It is difficult, or may I just say it's impossible. So, answering your question, Yogesh, why do people overthink? Because people are trying to control their past, their present, and the future. The truth is, you cannot control your past. Honestly, how much ever you try, even in the present, how much ever you try, catastrophe, challenges, technical issues, something is going to happen. For example, right now, while I'm doing a YouTube live, I have set this up a couple of hours back. We did everything. We did a test as a team. And then even at the last moment, suddenly the audio goes off, So even if you do the best that you can, there are going to be technical glitches. There are going to be glitches or errors that might happen in your life suddenly out of nowhere. So what I like to tell you, my friend, is you cannot control your past, you cannot control your present, and you cannot control your future. Yes, you can try your best to work around it, to make to focus on aspects of your life that you can control, but you honestly cannot control everything. Okay, there are only certain aspects of your life you can control, you know, as human. So that is one thought that I had. So why do we overthink? We overthink because we want to control our past, we want to control our present, we want to control our future. What why we also overthink is, suddenly if you had a change in life, you know, अगर आपके लाइफ में कोई अचानक बदलाव आ गया, you had a change in life. For example, suddenly people are put into lockdown, people are sitting at home, you know, a lot of things that people want to do, they're not able to do. Businesses have been impacted, colleges have been impacted, education have been impacted. When change happens in life, we are again trying to take control of things. So the answer, my friend, is why do actually people overthink? People overthink because they're trying to, one of the reasons why people overthink is because we are trying to control a particular situation in our life. And when we are trying to control a particular situation in our life, the challenge is going to happen. Isn't that right, my friend? So when we try and control situations, this is what happens. So why do we overthink? Because we are controlling. We are trying to control situation. My thought is, you know, it's important for you to be concerned about situation, to try and take care of your life, but don't overly, you know, hold tight to everything in your life. You cannot be certain of everything, you know. So that's one of the reasons why people overthink. I hope, Yogesh, I answered your question. I know I took a bit of time. My apologies. Let us take another question. Let us just see. So somebody says, how to stop overthinking when we are not able to achieve anything in life. Wow. So how to stop overthinking? Okay, so I'm seeing the comments and I'm going to address some of the comments. In fact, before we come, so how to stop overthinking when we are not able to achieve anything specifically in life. So my friend Dvanit over here has a thought over here. Dvanit says over here, hello Bobs, we also overthink because of peer pressure sometimes. Oh, that's so true. Sometimes we also, you know, overthink because we are worried about the opinion of others. है ना, हम सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, we are worried about what will other people think. And the reason why we are worried about others' opinion is basically because we are again trying to control how people see us. We are trying to control how we are reflecting in the image in the minds of other people. What perspective other people have about us, we're trying to control that, right? We're trying to control people's opinion about us, and that's one of the reasons. So overthinking actually comes from the element of control. When you try and control things, you know, when you try and control things, you know, it pains, it pressurizes, it creates anxiety, it creates worry, it creates stress. So that's one of the reasons. So the question that the Viral Pahadi was asking us, the channel was asking us, how to stop overthinking when we're not able to achieve anything in life. Okay, you know, sometime when we are trying to achieve something in life and we are not able to achieve it, we get frustrated. Now what happens is, our mind and our nervous system, what it wants to do is, it wants to, let's say, take an idea and say, okay, I'm going to work on this. So if I'm going to work on this, I need to take positive action on these ideas that I have. And you want to take action on it, and because of some reason you aren't able to complete it, because you delayed it, you procrastinated it. Sometimes what also happens is, because of some reason you did not get the result. So you had a dream, you had a goal, you had a plan, you had an aspiration, you had a desire, it did not happen, and as a result of that, and you wanted to take action. So it was a desire, your mind, your body, your spirit, everything wanted to take action, and when you could not take action on it, your mind gets frustrated, and as a result you overthink. Okay, so that's the root behind it, you know, the Viral Pahadi. That's the root behind it. Now how can you stop overthinking? Okay, now the answer to this is definitely available in the video that I've shared there is a video that I have already shared on YouTube, and I'm recommending that you should definitely go and check the video. In fact, I'm going to just show you a picture also of this. So, sometime back, I think just a few days back, I put a video of overthinking. So if you haven't seen it, can I request somebody to put the link of the video in the description, so other people can pick up the video and see it. And may I request each one of you, whoever's watching, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe the overthinking video. So watch the video, and that can answer your question, the question that the viral Pahadi asked. But here is the answer. We said overthinking का जो जड़ होता है, जो root होता है, it basically comes from the element of trying to control things. So my thought to you, my friend, is don't try to control the results. Did you hear that? Sometimes we are so focused on the end result. मैं जीतूंगा ही, मुझे जीतना ही है, मुझे, I have to win no matter what. I just want to tell you that you and I are humans. We could try and we could do a great job, we could put in a lot of effort. But one thing that we cannot guarantee, my friend, is we cannot guarantee results, my friend. You and I cannot guarantee results. So the viral Pahadi, one of the reasons why you could be overthinking is because you're thinking ki end result pe bhi main niyantran kar paun. But the truth is you cannot control the end result. So don't worry so much of the end result. Focus on what you can control. What you can control is you can control your effort. You can focus on saying ki, how can I do this thing better? You can evaluate your results and say, okay, what changes do I need to make? Okay, whose help can I take to learn this? Okay, which video can I watch to learn this? Whose suggestion can I take? How can I find a solution to this? You can improve yourself. You can improve your skills. You can improve your action. So those things which are in your control is improving your efforts, improving your strategy, improving your plan, improving your action, improving your execution. What you cannot control, my friend, is you cannot control results. So don't focus so much on results. Focus on what you can control, which is your action. And my friend, you'll be less stressed. That's my answer. Okay? Neki karo aur samundar mein dalo. That's how it is, right? Let's move forward. Okay? So Dwanit says, Dwanit just says we worry about our peer pressure. Sonia Sharma, ma'am, it is good to see you. Absolutely a pleasure to see you. And when it says over here that when people assume that we are overthinking, but we are not actually, how do we tackle this situation? Okay, that's a good question. Okay, when people assume that we are overthinking, but we are not actually, how do we tackle this situation? So Dwanit, can I request you to just elaborate the question a little more? Can you give us an example possibly? I think that would really be helpful for us. But I can try and answer the question depending on what you just mentioned. When people assume that we are overthinking, but we are not actually, how do we tackle that situation? Okay. Sometime one of the reasons why people can assume that you're overthinking, one of the reasons why we can assume that people assume that you're overthinking is basically because you are absent-minded. Sometimes what happens is, and unfortunately, I've also been, a prey. I've also been a prey of this, or a victim of this, or basically guilty of this. Actually, not a victim, but I'm guilty of this. Is sometimes we can be so caught up in our thoughts because we are worrying about something or the other. We may not necessarily be worrying, but we may not necessarily be overthinking, but we may be just worrying about something. And worrying about it. And as a result, people around us are able to see that you're not living in the present moment, So for example, when a wife or a brother or a sister, or mother or a partner or friend, somebody says, hey, listen, you want to have a cup of tea? Hey, listen, you want to have a cup of tea? Listen, hey, you want to have a cup of tea? And what you're doing is, you're just looking here, you're just looking there, you're just thinking about something, but you're not thinking about what's happening that very moment. And what is happening that very moment is one of your family members is just shouting out to you and asking you and wanting to tell you something, but you're not listening to them because you're worrying about something of the future, of the past, or of the present. So sometimes people can assume when you are worrying about something and you are absent-minded. And I, unfortunately, have also been guilty about this, and I'm trying to improve on this. So Dwanit sometimes says, sometimes we are silent in evaluating our own action, and as an introvert, we are not able to challenge people's thought. Okay, so that's an interesting thought. Dwanit said, sometimes we are silent, we are evaluating our own action, and you're an introvert. So it's okay, absolutely, absolutely okay for you to be an introvert. It's absolutely okay. Does not, there's no problem with that. But what happens is, when you're with your family, you're like your wife, let's say your brother, your sister, your partner, your girlfriend, your mom, your colleagues in office, when you're with a group of people, they are expecting you to communicate to them. They're expecting you to express your thoughts, because they care for you, they love you, they depend on you. So when you are quiet, there people are creating assumptions. So we shouldn't worry about people's assumption. But if there are people who are very close to you, who really matter to you, like for example, a few colleagues at work, your manager, your teammates, your mom, dad, your brother, sister, your family. So if you have people who really care for you, and if you're being very quiet and you're just thinking in your mind, what happens is the other person can make an assumption that you are not with them that very moment, that you're absent minded, or that you're overthinking. So it's very important for you to also express your thoughts to them. It's okay to be introvert, but the question is, if it is impacting the relationship, I think it's important to have transparent communication. Share your challenges, share your struggles, share your difficulties. And what I also like to tell you is, I'm glad to say that there are people who are very close to me, my own family members, people who I really cherish and love. There are people that I've opened up my life to and spoken to them, and it has helped me a lot. So I think there is a trustworthy place to open up and even express your thoughts to somebody, and that brings me to a very important point also. So one of the reasons why we overthink, sorry, because I'm just writing down something for you. One of the reasons why people, one of the reasons why people, one of the reasons why people sometimes feel, get into a whole element of overthinking is because people aren't able to express themselves to people in the family, their friends, their brother, sister, their colleague, their relative, their friends in the office. They're not able to express it. For example, let's say you have a boss who's very dominating and he does not listen to you, he does not agree with you, he does not appreciate your opinion. So sometimes, you could feel a sense that you're not able to express your opinion and you're not able to talk. And when you're not able to talk, my friend, what happens as a result is, you're overthinking. So sometimes when you're not able to express ourselves to other people because of trust issues, or because we're just embarrassed to talk about it, as a result we overthink. But I think it's important for you to have somebody in your life, a mentor, a friend, a leader, a family member, a close friend with whom you can share. I think at least somebody should be there in your life to whom you should be like an open notebook, is my thought. Okay, but only to people whom you can genuinely trust. Okay, so let us move forward. Let me take a question from somebody else. Okay, so Julie Kaur says, how can we control our overthinking? So, my first suggestion, as I mentioned earlier, is you should watch the video, which is available on YouTube, How to Stop Overthinking by Bobby Dsouza. Check the video and you can see for yourself. But one of the ways you can, stop overthinking, like I said earlier, is stop trying to control every situation. Number two is stop overly focusing on the end result. Okay. One of the ways you could also do that is, just focus on what you can control. Don't focus on what you cannot control. For example, how will other people behave with you? That is not exactly in your control, right? For example, right now, somebody whom I really appreciate, if that person is behaving in a very rude manner to me, she or he is very unkind to me, or I'm unkind to that person, you know, uh, I cannot control how that person will behave with me, but I could choose to speak up when I feel something is wrong, or I could choose to not react when somebody gets very angry. Now that's choice, my friend, that you and I can make. So how we can control our own reaction or response to somebody's behavior, my friend? that will help you to control your overthinking. So that's my answer to your question, Juhi. And let us just look at some other question. Friends, any other questions on overthinking, you should go ahead and ask me. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to take one more question. And the question is from Saurabh. So Saurabh says, how can we control overthinking about crisis? Okay. Saurabh, this actually is a very interesting question. And, I definitely have an answer for this. Uh, what basically happens is, I'll give you an example, and I saw a wonderful motivational speaker who gave this example. And the example is, just imagine that you're sitting at home, relaxed, everything is fine, and suddenly while you're sitting at home, suddenly you hear like a noise. Doom. You hear a noise. Now when you suddenly hear a sound, when you suddenly hear a sound, what happens? Okay, what happens? What basically happens is, a lot of people would suddenly just imagine that, what was the sound? The people will think that, what people will think is, oh my god, there's a bomb blast, and that somebody got, and possibly there's a big bomb blast and people died. But the truth, Saurabh, is that that's not really a bomb blast. It could be that there is just people celebrating Diwali, or people are celebrating Christmas, or people are celebrating a festival, or there's a wedding and people are just bursting some crackers. That could be the simple reason. But the challenge is, because in our mind we give it a wrong meaning. Naturally, we are very wired to think negative about everything. When somebody gives us a call and say, listen, I want to talk to you, we naturally think कि कुछ बुरा ही होने वाला है. We think कि कुछ बुरा ही होने वाला है, कुछ negative ही होने वाला है. But the truth is, it could not just be something negative. It could just be that that person wants to talk about something which is important. So the reason why we overthink and think about things like a crisis is basically because we give meaning to a situation. We give meaning to a situation. I want to give you one more example. Okay. I want to give you one more example. The example is, in fact, let me try and see if I can try and show. Okay. So just imagine it's dark night, and there is this beautiful girl who's wearing a hat and is walking down the lonely corridor. There is a guy behind her, and she can see a shadow, and that guy's got something like this. Okay, like in the darkness, you can see something like this. Now, what do you think that could be? Now, naturally, somebody would think that's a gun, and the girl could get worried. But when she actually comes near that man, she realizes that it is actually, just a toy that somebody's, carrying with him or her. Okay, there is a person who's just carrying a toy, and that person is trying to sell the toy in the little footpath. But because we are so accustomed to looking at the negative of everything, as a result, we will look at it as a gun that you're going to get killed, and we get scared. Simple example is, let's say it's 2 a.m. in the night, and suddenly, you can see a shadow of your curtains. And when you see a shadow of the curtains, what do you think? Oh my God, that's a ghost. So what we do is, in the mind, we are looking at, that same picture, and we're looking at it so negatively. We're saying that's a ghost, but the reality is not a ghost. It is just the curtains moving, because we give a negative meaning to it. So sort of my answer for you is, every time you're getting a thought which is of a crisis, every time you're getting a thought which is of worry, every time you're getting a thought which is of, I'm feeling scared about something, that time ask yourself this question: am I giving this thought a negative meaning? Am I giving this a positive meaning? Or am I giving this a positive, realistic meaning? And my thought is, be realistic about it, be positive about it, and don't give it a negative meaning. For example, let's say I called up a customer and I said, Mr. Customer, and let's say in my line of business, there is a motivational speech event that is going to happen, let's say on the 18th of August, which actually is happening on the 18th of August. I'm doing a keynote with a very large pharma organization. I'm going to do a keynote speech for them, and suddenly I get a call from them and they say, Bob, I want to tell you something very important. Okay. And the news is not very encouraging. So the first thought my negative mind will say is, oh, the program got cancelled. But I could even think that, the program got postponed. But my mind will naturally think negative. So one thing that you and I need to be very clear is observe. And I'm going to write that down for all of us. Very, very important actually. Observe the way you think. Guys, one of the ways you actually can handle, one of the ways you can handle overthinking is observe the way you think. Ask yourself, what are you thinking? What are you stressed about? What are you stressed about? What are you worried about? Observe the way you think, and you'll be surprised to know that sometimes we are overthinking about things that are not really, that does not matter. Every time if you're very stressed, ask yourself, are you just very negative about everything? Are you very pessimistic about everything? Are you like a problem creator in every solution? If yes, then you need to change your surrounding, my friend. You need to start looking at great books to read. You can read inspiring books, you can watch great videos, you can spend time with people who are very encouraging. Okay, so Saurabh, how can you control overthinking about crisis? A simple way is stop giving wrong meaning to situation. Look at it from a positive perspective. Is my thought. Okay, so thank you for your question, Saurabh. I hope that helped you. So Sonia Sharma ma'am has a question. Is overthinking a sign of intelligence? Okay, uh, I think everybody is intelligent. Even the person who thinks is the dumbest, if a person can actually use his, you know, mind to the optimum best, then that person will realize that he's got more than what he can think. For example, when I was in my 10th standard, in one of the exams, I actually got a zero in the preparation exam. Today, I have the privilege of inspiring thousands and thousands of people, including professors, faculties, leaders, so many people. So, I think I'm a slow thinker. But am I not intelligent? That's not true. I have the intelligence. So I think everybody has intelligence, but the level of how much one is utilizing the intelligence, that's a question. The more better you use your intelligence, then you could be a person like Elon Musk, and you could be, making a spaceship to Mars. So you could be Warren Buffett. You could be, you could be Nelson Mandela or Mother Teresa. You could be using your intelligence to create something new. So, how much you use your mind is up to you, and that determines your intelligence. Is overthinking a sign of intelligence? I think overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. Overthinking is basically a waste of intelligence. Is my perspective. Overthinking is not necessarily a sign of intelligence. It is basically a waste of intelligence. Okay. However, intelligence is when you take a thought, you take an idea and say, okay, I'm feeling worried about this one thing. So what I will do is I'll take a diary and pen and I'll write down the thought that I have, and then I'll say, okay, what's the problem here? What's the solution here? If I have the solution, how can I sort it? When can I sort it? What is the date I'm going to sort it out? Okay, if I cannot sort it, who is the person who can help me to sort it out? What can I read? What can I watch? Who can I ask for help? And how can I solve it? When can I solve it? If you can take a problem that you're worried about, think responsibly, find a solution for it, put a date for it, and close it, then that's great sign of intelligence. That's my answer for you. Thank you for that question. All right. Anybody else? If you got a question, go ahead, please, and you can ask a question. We are going to be ending this, Q&A live in just a few minutes. The next 5 to 6 minutes, we're going to end this Q&A live. So if you got any other question, you can ask. But thank you so much, everybody, for being there on the call. May I request you that there is actually, this session is mainly going to focus on, question and answer of how to stop overthinking. But there is a video available on YouTube, which is on the how to stop overthinking, which we in wherein I give steps, the 4 practical steps how you can handle overthinking. Very, very practical, very, very informative. So may I request you right now, just click on that video, which is mentioned in the comment description. Watch that, and also do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel of Bobby Dsouza. You can also follow me on Instagram, Bobby Dsouza Inspire. And when you do that, my friend, what happens as a result is, if you subscribe to my channel, on Bobby Dsouza Inspire on Instagram, what also happens as a result is that if you have a question that you want to ask and you are like a little shy to ask anybody else, let's say you're an introvert, so you can actually ask me there also. So my friend, this is the channel. So if you like my work, if you like what I do, so number one, you can pick up a copy of Fall to Rise, my book, which is available on Amazon. You can subscribe to my channel on Instagram. You can go to Spotify, listen to great inspirational podcast videos, content, very inspiring content on Spotify, and of course you can subscribe to me on iTunes and YouTube as well. So happy Independence Day to each one of you. May I just tell you that each one of you deserve the best. You do not deserve less. You don't deserve good. You deserve the best. May I request you, create a masterpiece of your life, create a beautiful life, create an amazing life. Don't give up. Don't give in. Stay strong. Stay powerful. And remember, the best, my friend, is yet to come for you, for me, and for everyone else. So stay strong, my friend. Even during this time of pandemic, when there is so much happening, I want you to know that this is not the end. Some of us, we think that I want to just give it up, whether it's a relationship, whether it's career, whether it's business, whether it's anything. I just want to say that you haven't come this far just to come this far. You haven't come this far just to come this far. You have come this far to really shoot high, to really move forward. So may I request you, my friend, keep moving forward. Do not overthink. Focus on what you can control. Do not focus on what you cannot control. Um, Remember, do not try to control results. Do not try to control people. Do not try to control other people's behavior. It's an unsuccessful journey if you do that, my friend. If you want a successful journey, have lesser expectation from people. Have expectation, but have lesser expectation from people. And don't be over ambitious about changing other people. Don't be over ambitious about changing yourself. But be passionate about changing yourself and helping others to change. Inspire somebody else, bring a smile to someone else. And I hope you found this session helpful. So in the chat button, if you found this session helpful, this little 45 minutes, 50 minute session that we had, if you found this helpful, we're going to say bye. So happy Independence Day. God bless you. Keep growing. And the overthinking video is available in the description. Watch it. Until we meet next time, take care and see you. Bye.